Diablo 4 is honestly one of the more interesting things currently happening. Season 8, massive changes. Actually, maybe even an interesting season. Huge, overwhelming design changes for Diablo 4's future. Are we finally getting Lost Ark but Diablo 4? Obviously not. The average Diablo 4 player couldn't even do add in Lost Ark without dying 50 times. That's not happening. But, it is interesting because Diablo 4 is currently in full understanding. There are no pink glasses on any longer. The Diablo 4 devs, Blizzard, and everyone understands that the way Diablo 4 is going to make it less relevant than Diablo 3 at this point because, unironically, people believe Diablo 3 is a better game than Diablo 4 at this point because all the things that Diablo 4 does, they just copy it from Diablo 3 without even looking for the most part. It is insane.
Starting with Diablo news, first off, Conan O'Brien apparently wants to be in Diablo. Yes,
Oh?
this is a thing. At SXSW, the South by Southwest conference, the late night legend told Blizzard's president, Johanna Faries, that he'd like to be a demon or a necromancer, joking that his wife already thought he was one when they first met. Faries responded with, quote, "We'll get the writers on this." So who knows, maybe Diablo 5 will feature Conan the Barbarian, wielding his signature self-deprecating sarcasm as a weapon. Meanwhile, in Diablo 4, Season 8 is in public testing, and feedback is mixed. Season 7 made the game a much easier game. Drops were plentiful, progress was faster than ever.
You can just hear Riker's voice just the sadness for the state of Diablo 4 is insane. And the fact that we have watched a couple of his videos recently, and I don't know about you, but I have noticed that this is the exact... He has used the same gameplay footage for, like, I don't know, 5 videos straight now. That is not good. That is not good. But when you don't want to play the game even for 5 minutes to get footage from gameplay like this, damn, that shows you how bad Diablo 4 currently is. Like, wow.
And that made a lot of casual players very happy. Season 8.
And by the way, the next season is going to make all the casual players unhappy because this is what's going to happen next season. Blizzard is a bunch of low IQ degenerate morons that are probably better at stealing breast milk and breast pumps than actually making games. It's kind of obvious and self-evident at this point, in fact, that is the case. You can't even argue it. I mean, we have empirical evidence. But how bad Blizzard are at making games at this point? Well, they're gonna make Diablo 4 harder. Harder. You know, by doing what? Just buffing damage numbers for creatures and defense numbers for creatures. Yeah. So they're gonna make it harder by making you grind more and get progression slower because yeah, that's how you make things harder. You just make the arbitrary gear check, stat check be a little bit higher. That's what it means for Blizzard to make the game harder. It is bullshit. Pure bullshit that anyone ever thinks that this is a good way to make the game better. Do you want the game harder? Then make things that actually make the game harder. Make systems, make creatures, make dodgeable shit. But no, instead what do you do? What do you do, Blizzard? Well, you just buff the creature stats. It's stupid. Blizzard will never succeed in anything that they plan on doing for Diablo 4 if this is where they are at. That they think taking longer to kill equals harder.
8 reverses course, making the game more challenging again with slower progression, higher difficulty, and naturally a lot of these players who were happy with Season 7 are now complaining.
Higher difficulty.
There's also the issue with the philosophy of Torment 4, meant to be aspirational, where only 10% of players are meant to reach it, yet historically the devs have locked rewards and season journey steps behind Torment 4 content. I personally feel that season journey stuff should not include aspirational content, because once you put something on a checklist of things to do, it no longer feels aspirational, it feels mandatory.
True.
It was the same thing with
Big
Uber Lilith. You get that Uber Lilith little quest pop up, and now it feels like something that you ought to be able to do. As soon as they put in, early in the game, reach level 100 as part of the season journey, now it felt mandatory and not aspirational. So altogether, Diablo 4 seems to be trying to strike a balance between making casual players and blaster players happy. Ultimately,
this is insane because from all 5 players that are left playing Diablo 3, 4 of them are casual, and 1 of them is in a blue hoodie, and he doesn't care, and the 4 players also don't care. Like, literally, not a single group of these people, the blasters or the casuals, give a shit what you change. The casuals don't care because the last time they read patch notes was by accident 2 years ago, and the blasters don't give a shit because you're never going to balance anything properly anyway, so, they're just going to switch from one broken build or class to another, if that is what is required. GG.
Making neither camp truly happy. It seems like they're just trying to find the balance point where people in both camps don't get so unhappy that they leave. And honestly, designing around compromise is never ideal. My personal feedback on testing Season 8, I really like the 1 to 60 progression now. It's not too fast, item drops are not too plentiful. Yeah, by level like 30 or so, I was fully decked out in legendaries, and I continued.
I don't understand this fully decked out in legendaries by level 30. I was decked out in legendaries at level fucking 15. Season 7, where I played it for 45 minutes roughly.
To wear only legendaries until level 60, but legendaries weren't raining from the sky. I wasn't leaving gear on the ground, blues and yellows. I was picking everything up, but I also wasn't stopping every 2 minutes to go back to town to sell garbage. Now, I think they had stated that a design goal was that they wanted to make blues and yellows worthwhile during the leveling journey. I didn't experience that at all. I don't think I ever picked a blue over anything. And yes, I was looking at the stats. I just, I was waiting.
Dude, the amount of blues that drop in this game, if you have played it, it's 0. You're not even gonna get a full set of blue items when you change them out for yellow, and you're not gonna even get a full set of yellow items by the time you change them out for legendaries. So what is the point of this? Diablo 4 has literally been geared from day 1 to ignore everything but endgame Torment 4. It's just dumb. It just doesn't work like that.
Especially when I reached level 50, because in the 50 to 60 window, that's when...
But you know what? I have to say one thing. Maybe the Diablo player base has gotten smarter, because I am not hearing any low IQ Asmongold takes about, oh, they need to add a new Torment level. That will fix What will that fix, asshole? What will that actually fix? Literally nothing. Torment levels are actually a complete problem and a bust, in my opinion, from the beginning, because they just don't work. Torment and world tiers just make the game worse for no reason.
New gear drops can be much more powerful than what you have. So I'm like, okay, I got this legendary weapon at like level 40 something. Maybe I'm gonna get a blue weapon drop that's gonna be better than my legendary weapon. But no, legendaries drop often enough that I never ran into a circumstance where I ever got a blue or a yellow that was worth swapping to. That said, this is not a complaint. This is just data. I don't really care for blues and...
And by the way, he's literally talking about green arrow go up. It literally doesn't matter until you're max level, max torment, on what items you equip. As long as arrow go up, you put them in. Because that's the Diablo experience. The more brain cells I slowly chop off, the better it is.
And yellows at this point to be things that I'm equipping. I'm just saying I don't think their goal is succeeding here. More and more, though, I'm starting to think, after just seeing the state of the community, how things have progressed over the years, seeing the feedback from different camps of players, I think just like how we have separate servers for softcore and hardcore players, I think we just need a separate server for blasters and non-blaster characters. I've noticed that some players who are either more casual or otherwise don't have a ton of time to put into the game, they get upset or offended when some of us suggest slowing down.
Bro, this is so insane. Because remember when it was a meme about the hardworking dad who has 7 different jobs, 3 wives, 5 children, 3 stepchildren, and 4 grandparents to take care of, and he has only 3.3 milliseconds a day to play Diablo 4? That shit is real. We are at the point where that's not a meme. That is actually the player base of Diablo 4. Diablo 4 has legitimately I get this constantly. And honestly, I'm fine with you people playing the game like that, but all of these games are so much better if you play seasons. If you just don't spend all of your time, even if it is 1 minute a day, playing one fucking character that's in the permanent realm. Like, it is a mistake. But I see so many people just constantly commenting, oh, the fact that they have these seasons and resets your progression, that makes the game bad. Bro, what progression? You can literally be right where you left in 6 hours, but you just get the journey. The problem is in this case that the journey doesn't exist like it exists in the last epoch or Path of Exile. But man, it is insane that there are so many people commenting that, oh, seasons are a bad idea. Seasons are great. Diablo 4 is the only game I know of where people are saying seasons bad. Now, if you don't like seasons, that's, again, there's nothing wrong with you playing the game like that, but I personally think you're missing a lot of fun if you do it like that. But hey, to each their own, I guess.
On the pace of the game, slowing down progression, lowering loot drops. You know, they're saying that, oh, we're gatekeeping the game, that we don't want them to have fun, or we don't want them to be able to achieve the things that we achieve, and that's really not the case. I personally don't play nearly as much as most people assume. I am not a full-time streamer. I'm a video maker who also streams a bit. I mean, yeah, I play more than the guy who has only 3 hours a week to play, but I'm not putting in 8 hours a day of gaming every day. I'm not a competitive player. I don't care if other players are achieving more than I achieve. It doesn't bother me if...
Like, how the fuck do you even know that other people are actually achieving more than you? Like, where do you look that up? Are you just constantly looking at the ladder boards and being like, oh, that should be me? Bro, I literally never care about anything anyone else does in Diablo 4. It's so pointless.
Someone who plays 3 hours a week can achieve all the same stuff I can achieve. I don't derive any sense of self-worth from what I achieve in a video game. I just want the game to be fun. So when I say I want the game...
But also, this is a bad perspective to have, because the reality is, if someone plays more than you and it's like a progression game with grinding, they should be getting more than you. Yeah, they play more than you. It is what it is. They deserve more shit than you because they put in more hours. Like, this is just life. This has been life from start to finish. People who can put more hours into literally anything are always gonna get more rewards, almost always, I should say, than people who don't put a lot of time in anything. It's just...
to be slower when I don't want items to be constantly raining from the sky. It's not because I'm trying to keep you down. It's not because I don't think you deserve to achieve what I achieve. It's not because I think you don't deserve to have fun. It's because I'm not having fun anymore, and I want to have fun. The game was one thing, and then it changed into something that was just significantly less fun for me. But that said, I also want you to have fun. I want all of us to have fun. And at this point, the only path forward that I see is a server split. The Blaster server, where we have slower progression, and the non-Blaster server, where drop rates and XP are like 10 times higher than the Blaster server. It's clear we're never going to reach a middle...
To be fair, even Path of Exile, by the way, has this
ground that truly makes everyone happy. So let's...
But it's for different reasons, granted. It is for different reasons. It's not because someone's complaining, oh, you just want me to not have all my fun. It's because some people just want slower gameplay and that's it. Like, Diablo 4 is very unique in how bad the arguments for this game or against a lot of things are.
Stop compromising. Let's all have fun. No one's fun should come at the expense of someone else. No player is less worthy or less deserving. Now, back to PTR feedback.
Weak.
The boss powers. Right now, it doesn't feel worth it to collect these before endgame. Doing the seasonal activity is not efficient for leveling, and the pre-torment boss powers are generally weak. It didn't feel like it was worth it to go out of my way for them. The world boss powers, however, are great, so it is worth going out of your way to get those. Otherwise, though, it just feels like this.
It's not really going out of your way to get a world boss power, because world bosses are great loot and shit.
Seasonal activity is something that you ignore until you reach Torment and can start collecting the lair.
But by the way, again, I just want to mention how bad the average Diablo player is. I have a video on this channel. I don't remember what it's called, but it's something like, is Diablo 4 too hard, actually, or something like that. And it is Season 3, I think, or something like that. Season 2, maybe, Season 3. And I'm level 40 or level 50-ish in the first world tier or something like that, or whatever world tier. And I'm going to a world boss, and you can see in the chat, which would be right here, just constantly people dead. People just constantly died. And I mean, Diablo 4 world bosses have barely one mechanic each. No, seriously, they literally don't have mechanics. Most of those bosses don't even damage you if you stand in melee range of them. No, seriously, that's literally it. Like, the poison one actually only damages you at range. It's almost impossible to get hit on melee range. Walking Dead requires you to just avoid the fucking giant lasers, which is too hard for some people. And the giant greed goblin thing requires you to not stand in fire, maybe, time to time? Maybe? And people can't deal with that. People literally just die constantly. Maybe this game is too hard.
Boss powers. All I know is I had fun with 1 to 60. I found 2 uniques throughout my journey, and both were exciting moments. I found the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls around level 30-ish, and I found Penitent Greaves around level 45, and the fact that I remember both of those incidents is a good sign. Now, as for post-60, I haven't put a ton of time into the leveling process post-60, the empowering process, the progression. I did get my way up to Torment 3, and my preliminary thoughts are positive. I think just the removal of the Season 7 activities removes a big source of the inundation of legendary items. So on a preliminary basis,
God, I hated Season 7 activities. It's just so mind-numbingly boring. You went to do the Tree of Whispers shit, and it was literally like, you didn't even need to know what you do. It's like, just on the map. White, square, dot, 5 angle, triangle, whatever the fuck. You just click on it and bam. You get a Whisper. You have fun. I didn't even know what I was doing. It was so mind-numbingly dumb.
I'm going to say I think things are looking good. Now, it's not all roses. The PTR has a lot of crashing issues, but hey, it's PTR. As long as it doesn't make it to the live server, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not like Blizzard's a multi-billion-dollar company that got acquired by Microsoft for 88 billion or something like that. It's not like they're a billion-dollar company.
There's some great quality of life changes on PTR. You can now instantly teleport to party members, just like in Diablo 3. Tempering remembers your last recipe, so that makes crafting smoother. Overall, though, I'm just really looking forward to the day that the devs are no longer reworking core aspects of the game and could instead just focus on building new content.
Good luck, buddy.
And speaking of, an idea that I've seen proposed a few times in the...
Okay, listen. The goblins that are currently in Diablo 4 are Diablo... This actually took me a bit of a while to figure this out because I have not seen the goblins, I have not interacted with the new goblins, but it took me a little bit of a while to figure out. It's not that they're just taking Diablo 3's goblins and putting them in Diablo 4. They're taking bits of Diablo 3 goblins, what they achieved at the end with them, and putting them step by step in Diablo 4. They're just not taking all of the good mechanics that they made with goblins and putting them into the game. They're cutting it up in pieces and fucking drip feeding it in. That is insane.
The past that I think could be cool. Imagine if, as part of building your character, you get to select one seasonal power specialization path. Like, call it an ascendancy, call it whatever you want. But imagine you get to pick, for instance, one past season theme, right? Like, you can either get the robot pet from season 3, or the blood powers from season 2, or the witch powers from season 7. Like, this is a way you can bring all of this content that was previously made, bring it all to the core game, but without making our characters crazy overpowered by stacking all of the season themes, right? Where you have blood powers with the robot, with the witch powers, right? You only can pick one. Now, of course, they would have to rebalance all the past stuff if they were to do that, because some are obviously...
That doesn't even work because you have those powers on some items.
They're not all created equal, let's say. But it would add an extra dimension to character builds, right? Maybe a Whirlwind Barb benefits most from the Season 8 boss powers, but a Pen-Shot Rogue would want the robot pet, for argument's sake. But I don't know, what do you folks think? Good idea, bad idea? Sound off in the comments. Now, we've also got an event coming up from March 18th through 25th.
You know when I will say that Diablo 4 has a shot at actually being a good game? When Blizzard reworks all of the basic skills. There are still basic skills in this fucking game, to this goddamn day, that are unusable as main abilities. You literally need to upgrade them with some kind of affix to make them usable. To make them usable! Not actually good, but usable! That is insanity!
We're going to have the Mother's Blessing event coming back, and during this event, in addition to getting 35% more XP and 50% more gold, whenever you return your Grim Favors, you'll also receive an additional gift of the tree, which will include a collection of chaos. In other news, the date for the next BlizzCon has been announced. September...
Okay, could not care less, baby. Anyway, that was Riker, 10 out of 10. Bye!